You know what usually happens in Chhattisgarh or any such area where there is insurgency or Maoism or any other kind of terrorism, there are regular security operations that are carried out by the security forces. In this case particularly, I understand that this could have been a CASO, which is a cordon and search operation that usually is carried out by the paramilitary forces along with the district forces. It's not clear whether this was a joint operation with the CRPF, but certainly the DRG from Narayanpur, Dantewada and Bijapur were involved in this operation. It would have begun late into the night yesterday or early morning today, where the security forces, large in number, would have gone to a particular area where information would have been received of Maoist presence, and a coordinated security operation would have been carried out. Doesn't seem like that any kind of encounter took place with the Maoists this time around. But while the security forces were returning after this particular exercise of an operation, a coordinated search operation, this IED attack taking place in which 8 Jawans of the DRG of the Chhattisgarh police and 1 driver have been killed. I said that this was a very, very brutal terror attack, and I'm sure that the security forces in Chhattisgarh will be launching a security operation very soon. That's what we have seen in the past as well. As I said, I've visited this area frequently across Dantewada, Bastar and the heartland of the Maoists in Chhattisgarh, but there have been significant successes for the security forces in the recent past, unprecedented to the extent I can tell you that in 2023 there were only 20 Maoists that were killed in the entire year, but last year that rose to about 287. And the civilian casualties have also reduced by 73% in the last 2 years. That itself gives you a telling picture of the Maoists being reduced to the ashes in Chhattisgarh. But this attack again is a cause of concern for the security forces, for the national security apparatus as well, which is going all guns blazing against the Maoists. And that operation overall by the paramilitary forces, by the Chhattisgarh police and the DRG Jawans is certainly going to continue.
All right, Aditya Raj Kaul, Strategic Affairs Editor, bringing us those latest details. Many thanks, Aditya, for joining us here. Of course, the detailed information is going to be released separately by the IGP Bastar range. We're going to wait for that. But some political reactions that are now coming in. Let's quickly cut across to those.
बीजापुर से ये एक नक्सलियों की कायराना हरकत की जानकारी आई है। सभी नौजवानों के प्रति मैं अपनी विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। ये नक्सलियों की कायराना हरकत है। जिस प्रकार से सुरक्षा बल के जवान अंदर घुसकर नक्सल मुक्त करने की दिशा में काम कर रहे हैं, ये हताशा में, निराशा में की गई कार्रवाई है। इन जवानों की शहादत जाया नहीं जाएगी और बहुत जल्दी छत्तीसगढ़ बस्तर नक्सल मुक्त होगा।
Well, moving on, recent developments regarding Nimisha Priya, the Indian nurse sentenced to death in Yemen, indicates that the Yemeni embassy has clarified that President Rashid al-Alimi has not approved the nurse's death sentence. And this statement comes amidst ongoing negotiations for a potential pardon through blood money, which is a customary practice in Islamic law, allowing the victim's family to forgive the perpetrator in exchange for financial compensation. Now, Nimisha Priya, who has been imprisoned since 2017 for the alleged murder of a Yemeni national, Talal Abdul Mahdi, was originally sentenced to death in 2020. Her family is actively seeking a pardon from Mahdi's relatives, which remains her only hope to avoid execution. The Indian government is reportedly providing all possible assistance in this matter, and it's a big development that the president has not yet approved her death sentence. As of now, the situation remains precarious, with Nimisha's family and supporters urging for urgent intervention to secure her release. They are hopeful that negotiations can lead to a favorable outcome before any execution in this particular case takes place. She was sentenced to death in 2020. Right now, blood money, crucial talks underway in Yemen. Meanwhile, the president says he's not approved the death sentence yet. Moving on, the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, has detected 2 cases of human metapneumovirus in Karnataka. Now, both the cases were identified through routine surveillance for multiple respiratory viral pathogens as part of ICMR's ongoing efforts to monitor respiratory illnesses across the country. HMPV virus, should you be worried? Is it the same as COVID-19 or the SARS virus that broke apart in China? Of course, the HMPV also coming to light from China itself. However, there is no clear information information whether the Chinese type of HMPV virus and the virus found in the child in Karnataka are the same, according to the Karnataka Health Department. And as per reports, child and parents have no Chinese travel history or any kind of travel history towards China. The first case is a 3-month-old female infant who was diagnosed with HMPV after being admitted to Baptist Hospital in Bengaluru with a history of bronchopneumonia. She has been since discharged. The second case is an 8-month-old male infant who tested positive for HMPV on the 3rd of January after being admitted yet again to Baptist Hospital, Bengaluru with a history of bronchopneumonia. This particular infant is now recovering. It is important to note here again that neither of the affected patients have any history of international travel at this particular point in time. Now, the Health Minister of the state, Dinesh Gundu Rao, has called an emergency meeting with Health Department officials to discuss the precautionary